looking at different steps for creating a recombinant DNA. And we are now at this stage. That is, after inserting our plasmid, which is already containing our gene of interest, we are checking for transformants using selectable markers. Once that we have understood, okay, these are our hosts which are transformants, we can use that for production of a recombinant product, which is usually a protein or an enzyme or something of commercial value. Or it could be something to cure, or it could be a medicine, it could be something like insulin, it could be anything, which we are trying to understand in the next chapter. So we have our host cell, which is a recombinant or which is a transformant, from which we can get our protein of interest. We can do small scale production of that product, or we can use certain things called as bioreactors for production in large scales. Okay, so in lab, if we are trying to produce our recombinant protein, we would be doing that on a nutrient medium, and that would be only in a very small scale. In order to produce in large scale, we are going to use something called as bioreactors. Bioreactors are large vessels in which quantities of 100 to 1000 liters can be produced. And what is special about bioreactors, we have to know? They keep the cells or transformed host cells in active or exponential phase of growth. Very important point that you need to add in your answer. Second thing, they provide optimal pH, temperature, vitamins, oxygen, salts, etc. so that our cells are in the exponential phase. They give out the optimal amount of protein for us. This can be done in different types of stirred tank bioreactors. Simple one is the most common one. Simple stirred tank bioreactor is most common one. The other one is called sparged stirred tank. Both cases, the working remains somewhat same. The only difference is in case of simple stirred tank, certain blades which rotate help in aeration. On the other hand, in case of sparged stirred tank bioreactor, bubbling of air is done. That is the only difference between them. Both help in large scale production. They keep the cell in active or exponential phase. By providing optimum conditions of pH, temperature, oxygen level, etc. Once all this is done, you have your recombinant protein. Let us say it is insulin. Can we directly use it? We cannot. All right. We have to refine it. How do we refine it? By a process called as downstream processing. Okay. It is called as downstream processing, about which we don't have to learn much. We just need to know what is by downstream processing. This means we are refining our protein or our recombinant product by different methods of separation and purification. All right. So that's about the entire chapter. In case in any steps you have any doubts, go back to those videos. I have named the videos with the steps. Please go through them. Now, next step for us is to learn all the questions that has been coming from this chapter in the previous years. So I will continue with that in the next video. Thank you.